Thank you for joining Vancouver Bitcoiners. Please enjoy our next guest speaker. Thank you to our sponsors, Adaptec Group, Canada's premier event-driven development company, and Bull Bitcoin, Canada's premier Bitcoin company since 2013.
Thanks for having me, first of all. I love hanging out with Bitcoiners, even virtually. I think the virtual aspect is kind of one of the good things that came out of the pandemic. During the pandemic, I was able to go to London BitDevs, Chicago BitDevs, LA BitDevs, and Vancouver BitDevs. So that's been a benefit. The background, on me is I am a fiat miner. I don't work in the Bitcoin industry, but I organize meetups in San Francisco, the Bay Area. We had nothing. It got dark. It got dark here for a little while during the pandemic. Socratic seminars had stopped. Lightning devs had stopped, and I mean, I don't even know if there were crypto meetups. I don't know. But we started sort of hanging out on the beach, out at Ocean Beach, and hanging out at the parks. And one thing led to another, and finally somebody said, "Can we just fucking have a meetup?" And so I said, "Well, yeah, I can use the meetup pages and whatnot." A friend of mine, Tommy, he owns a bar in San Francisco. He's a Bitcoiner. He runs a node. He actually has two. And my secret love, if any one of you were at the bar and having a beer, no one else would notice, but this room would look over and be like, "Is that a fucking node running over there?" And it is. And so we did our meetups there for months. And then what I'm not good at is Bitcoin technology. You'll see tonight as we talk about some things. I'm a learner. I like to hang out with Bitcoiners. I like the community. But what I can do is organize the shit out of stuff. And so we've grown our meetups. It's now we have bi-weekly meetups in the city. If by every other week, semi-monthly, I don't know. So every other week in the city, but then we've grown. We have 5 suburban ones in what we call the North Bay, the East Bay, the Peninsula, the South Bay, and Santa Cruz. Those go on monthly. We're now looking to start. If you can't kind of consider those are our sort of casual. Anyone can come. It's a great mix of people. We really encourage newcomers because it's super casual. There's no technical. It's sort of the opposite of a Socratic seminar, if you think of it that way. There's beers involved for anybody that wants beers, and we're trying to grow the community there. Luckily, we live in San Francisco, where there's a high population of tech employees, so the mix in the room is always great. You'll have a guy, here comes Scott. He heard about Bitcoin because his nephew told him about it, so he wants to learn. And here's Connor. He works at Unchained, so it's really great to see. And sort of what I'm good at, because like I said, what I'm not good at is I'm not good at technical things. And so when I think about how can I support Bitcoin, because no matter what your goal is, my number go up, bank the unbanked, freedom of speech, Fed type of situation, trying to find out how you can contribute is, I think, something that certainly this room and everybody online, like anybody that goes to an event like this, sort of feels that same way. So for me, that's where I can help. It's great. What's great in San Francisco right now is I was telling, I'm going to say Jestifer. I don't think that's your real name, but I was telling Jestifer a second ago, we're starting to turn the corner down here in San Francisco. We have our meetups, Bay Area Bitcoiners, going on every other week. There's one going on right now in the East Bay that I'm not at. I'm doing this. We have Socratic seminars. I'm helping out with that. So that's monthly. That's now kicked off. Lightning Devs is now coming back. They just had a hackathon, but they also just had their regular meetup. And then I'd like to start something in the middle, some sort of panel style educational. I was talking to some friends at Unchained and Casa to do things like, hey, how do you custody? What is a node? Things like that, where it's somewhere in the middle. So anyway, that's me. That's who I am. I try to meet Bitcoiners whenever I can. Alex and I met first in Southern California at that Quantum Brewery, another meetup. You gave a talk, and I listened, and it was great. And then again, we saw each other in Miami, so it's fun that we're. I guess to say, it's still early. It is, when you guys get every one of us is getting those emails right now about what's going on with this and what's going on with that, and just people not understanding. And it's great. It's great how early it is. And then in the symptom of that is how small the community is, where, we went from not knowing each other to we've now hung out in real life multiple times. And so that's great. Anyway, you reached out and said, do I want to hang out? I said, yeah, I'll fucking hang out with Bitcoiners. And so that's me. That's what I do. If anybody wants to start a meetup, I'm happy to talk to anyone and just sort of tell you what we did and what worked. For us, it was easy. If there was 2 other people there, we thought that was a success because all we wanted to do was get out of the house, talk about Bitcoin. But if anybody wants to reach out, I'm Billy MacDonald. And that's it. That's me.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And just for everyone, I don't think I introduced you at the very beginning. You're one of the co-organizers of Bay Area Bitcoiners. So yes. Bay Area BTC on Twitter.
Say it again.
Bay Area BTC on Twitter. Is that right?
That's a great question. Yeah, probably Bay Area BTC on Twitter. And then we have a website too you can find us on. If anybody's ever down in San Francisco, come find us.
Billy, thank you so much for doing such an amazing job. I've seen.
Well, thanks for having me. I'll hang out with Bitcoiners literally anytime. It's all I really want to do. I don't care if there's 1 person at a meetup or 100 if you're in Austin. Fuck Austin. Those guys think their shit doesn't smell. But if anybody is in the Bay Area, I'm Billy MacDo, Billy MacDo, depending on what part of the country you're from. We're Bay Area Bitcoiners, so let's hang out, let's have beers, let's talk Bitcoin. And when I'm in Vancouver, I'm gonna come to whatever room this is right here with the crazy awesome camera, and let's talk atomic swaps. Thanks for letting me crash your meetup this week. Bye.
A big thank you to Vancouver Bitcoiners executive crew. This would not happen without all of you. And finally, big thank you to Murdoch Media for producing all of these episodes.